What's up, guys? Welcome to another video of DevTalks with your host Travian, where we talk about everything engineering technology wise. In this video, we're going to cover some Intel. Don't worry, it starts off old, but we're going to get up to new and date. How is Intel going to be able to compete and save their company? If y'all don't know, NVIDIA is running it up. We have a lot of videos planned for NVIDIA. It's hard to find stuff like this for Intel, though. And you want to know why? They just haven't been doing a good job. Product wise, everything like that, they haven't really been able to succeed. So in this video, we're going to figure out how they're going to do better and potentially compete more in this space that NVIDIA completely owns now. Without further ado, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and let's dive right into this video.
After nearly 25 years as the world's largest chipmaker,
this symbol outside means you have the standard inside.
Intel is struggling. Look at the yellow bars on this chart. That's the company's cash flow. It burned through almost $16 billion last year. It's indicative of a big problem on one side of Intel's business, chip manufacturing.
We're in March. This video came out not too long ago. It said last year they burned through 16 million. They're at 9 in 3 months. How? Somebody please tell me how. I just peeped this real quick. If this is a yearly thing, right? We're in 2025. We're in March. The end of March. The quarter isn't even up yet. They're at $9 million. Or $9 billion. $9 billion already burned. They did 16 billion last year. The year before that, about 14 billion. And the year before that, it was 9 billion on their loss. They're trying to double it. At this rate, if they're going this rate, Intel, they are struggling. When I say they are struggling, It's hard to compete with companies like NVIDIA. You looking like this, and this how you turning out? Where's this 9 billion going? Where's all this money going? Where's the innovation at? How are you competing? Hopefully they tell us farther along in this video. So let's just continue on with this. That's crazy.
It's indicative of a big problem on one side of Intel's business, chip manufacturing. But there's a problem with the other side, chip designing, too. You can see it in this line, which shows Intel's market cap. And it may not look that bad, but these lines show its competitors. Now, new CEO Lip Bhutan has been tasked with fixing its competitors.
These dudes make the chips. Look at the video. Look at this. How is anybody supposed to compete? Samsung, ASML, they're all the way up here. You got no-name companies doing better than Intel. Intel's at the bottom on this chart. I know all these companies, Samsung, ASML, they doing well. NVIDIA, crazy out here. TSMC, they manufacture the chips, so it makes sense for them to be right there in the market cap. Gosh, dang. Oh, let's see what the CEO is going to have to do, because you're going to have to make some big changes. They're going to go bankrupt and they're going to lose their business.
Competitors. Now, new CEO Lip Bhutan has been tasked with fixing both sides of Intel's business.
There are things you can do, but it's going to be incremental and it's going to be extremely risky.
Here's how a mistake the company made decades ago has snowballed into an overwhelming obstacle that Lip Bhutan will have to face. Since it was founded in 1968, Intel dominated the chip market.
Inside this package is a chip of silicon which provides the electrical equivalent of many transistors, resistors, and diodes.
Basically, they had a technological monopoly. There were a few other competitors.
The company churned out industry standard after industry standard of CPUs, or central processing units. They're essentially the brains of a computer.
Now anyone can have all the brain power they want. Just look for a PC with an Intel processor inside.
By 1992, it became the world's largest chip maker by revenue, according to the company. By 1997, its chips served as the brains of 84% of the world's computers. And in 2000, the stock hit an all-time high. Intel was the king of chips. But while the company was riding high, the rest of the industry was making a change. By the 2010s, it had split. Most companies specialized in either designing chips, like AMD or NVIDIA, or manufacturing chips, like TSMC. That shift happened for two main reasons.
One is that as the manufacturing technology became increasingly sophisticated, the equipments needed to support that, to cut things that small, were costing $1-2 billion easily.
This meant that foreign manufacturers like TSMC were able to produce chips cheaper and faster, with low-cost labor and fewer regulations. The second reason, Intel's development slowed down.
Before, Intel was unquestionably number one, the power of their chips. So they were making things around 14 nanometers. But every year, they were able to upgrade their technology every 18 months or so. But between 2014 and 2020, that cycle slowed down significantly, and TSMC and Samsung ended up catching up to them.
By 2017, experts said that competitors' CPUs were less expensive and faster than Intel's. And in 2021, in the midst of
the semiconductor shortage, global supply chain challenges, and associated rising costs faced by American families today,
this guy, Intel's CEO Pat Gelsinger, made two massive financial moves that are still weighing on the company today. With funding committed from the CHIPS Act, Intel broke ground on two new factories in Arizona worth $20 billion. Officials thought
that money attracts money. It attracts investment. It demonstrates we're all in.
The next year, it started building a mega site in Ohio, estimated to cost $100 billion when complete. These uncompleted factories will create challenges that Lip-Bu-Tan will have to deal with.
I mean, the goal is you have to be technologically competitive in foundry business. You have to be able to compete with TSMC. It's uncertain whether you can do that. But without taking back the technological leadership, all these investments do not make any sense.
Last year, the company doubled down on its plan, announcing a $36 billion upgrade to existing factories in Oregon. This massive investment means that Intel's assets are worth more than its market value, and now it's engaged in talks with competitors like TSMC to spin off the manufacturing side.
You face huge pressure to spin off, especially because there's a very heavy asset side of the manufacturing. When it comes to valuation side of things, is dragging down the more profitable asset-light design side of things.
And all of this focus on bringing chip manufacturing to America left Intel vulnerable on the design side. While Intel was busy building factories, a new trend was emerging in the industry.
Artificial intelligence.
A high demand for AI chips.
Everybody's talking about AI.
But Intel didn't specialize in GPUs or graphic processing units necessary for AI.
Intel's architecture, the design philosophy is being really good at one complex computation. GPU was, let me do lots of simple computations in parallel. Their existing capabilities weren't naturally so compatible with the GPU revolution.
Sales deteriorated. The company's AI product, Gaudi, didn't perform.
You won't be making the outline target of $500 million in sales for this fiscal year or calendar year. Why?
the AI world has moved very rapidly and innovating very quickly. And the robustness and the completeness of the Gaudi software stack hasn't been as great.
In December, Gelsinger was ousted from his role, leaving the company in turmoil.
What they will try to do, whether it's successful or not, is very uncertain. So they will try to be competitive in the foundry manufacturing space. It takes very aggressive investments, and whether the investors are patient enough or willing to tolerate that, there's a big question mark.
And the investors are now being tested. Intel reported the largest loss in their 56 years of business. But Tan isn't deterred. He said, "I am joining because I believe with every fiber of my being that we have what it takes to win."
Let's not sort of underestimate the success of Intel so far. I mean, let's remember, Apple almost went bankrupt. But whether they will stage a successful turnaround, anybody who says that with conviction, I'm a little bit skeptical.
Yeah, so that's what's basically going on with Intel, right? They've been having problems for the longest. For me, they're already so far beyond on demand. when it comes to AI chips, they should definitely focus on manufacturing right now. And I say that because a lot of companies now, if you guys do not know, they are moving into the US for more manufacturing positions and things like that. So if they already have plants on the way for this, the biggest competitor now goes to TSMC, or Taiwan Semiconductor. That's who makes all those chips and the AI chips and things like that. They probably have a better chance at trying to go out and compete with them and have it in the US and selling their chips out to different people, different companies in the US to help better trades and everything, especially with tariffs going on and whatnot. Put pressure on Taiwan, because if Taiwan is going to do that and build plants into the US, it's going to be even harder for them. But they should have taken that advantage of having that CHIPS Act in 2021 or whatever at that time, and really diving into getting that manufacturing updated and getting into that mind space of being able to create those types of chips and materials that we're going to need, and focus on that market space, and then shift outside globally at that point. And then when you have your manufacturing going well, that's when you can then go, hey, now we want to get back to our old roots of having chips ourselves and making AI chips and selling them full process, and maybe we can cut out the middleman somewhere of, hey, just not even going to the other places, like to, like, for them to make their AI chips or whatever in that regard, or manufacturing for other people, and they could just manufacture their own. I feel like manufacturing for other people in some context will give them some insight on what these new chips are like and how they can perform better, and learn from their experience in that sense to make something better and bring something to market that actually works and that's better. That's my take on it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share. I'm really interested in what you guys have to say. I'm really curious about what you think Intel's going to go and lead to. I just really can't believe in them right now as a company. It's really hard. They're in that gray area right now with this new CEO on what is their future really going to look like. And we have to really think about that and how it's going to shape and how their company is going to mold from now here. But I'll try to keep up to date and let you guys know what's going on with Intel. If it all goes good, I'll be covering it. If it goes bad, I'll cover it. And without further ado, if you guys want me to react to anything in particular, don't forget to send me an email at devtalkspod. Link is in the description as well down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, click the video that pops up right about now. Without further ado, peace. See y'all next time.